Konnichiwa. My name's Tully. I'm going to Japan, and you're coming with me. So, I went on a 2-week vacation to Japan in May of 2023. I had an amazing time, and I want to share it with friends, family, and you. Now, if you want to skip the intro and get right to my first morning in Japan, go to this timestamp. Moving on, I'll start with some background on the trip. I had casually wanted to visit Japan since I was a teenager, but I didn't make any real plans until 2018 when I saw this wrestler, Tochinoshin, in the thumbnail of a recommended video on YouTube, and I got hooked on sumo wrestling. I began making plans to visit Japan right away, but they remained casual until mid-2019 when I began planning to go in May of 2020. We all know what happened in March of 2020, so planning lulled for a while. Japan's borders were closed. But in 2022, the Japanese government began hinting at reopening Japan to tourists, so I began planning again. Finally, in May of 2023, I went. So, where did I go during my 2 weeks in Japan? First, I flew into Osaka, Japan's second biggest city. I stayed there for a few days, then went south to Okayama, where unfortunately I got rained out. Then I went a little bit north to Himeji, where I saw its beautiful preserved medieval castle. Then I went to Kyoto for its incredible cultural attractions. And then I ended the vacation by spending several days in Tokyo, where I ate fine foods and lost myself in crowds. I had originally planned to include visits to Fukuoka and Hiroshima, which are in the south of Japan, but decided against it because of the distance. In the next few years, I plan to come back to Japan and explore the places I wasn't able to go to this time. Now, unfortunately, the vacation wasn't perfect. Some days didn't go to plan, for reasons that are shown later in this series of videos. Some were my fault, some weren't. I've left those failures in these videos because I want to share the mistakes I made along with my successes, so you can learn from them and plan your best vacation in Japan. Last thing, this is the first vlog I've ever filmed, so I hope you view its flaws with understanding eyes. Now let's go. Early on Sunday, May 14th, 2023, I flew from my home airport to San Francisco, where I boarded this Boeing 777-200 headed for Osaka. I would return 16 days later from Tokyo on Monday, May 29th. If you're coming to Japan from the US, you lose a day on the flight over to Japan. So days 1 and 2 are more like one long day. And our first full day in Japan is actually day 3 of the vacation, which is included in this video because I didn't want to make you guys wait to get to the fun stuff. Here we go. After a 12-hour overnight flight, it was late afternoon Japan time, and finally, my feet stood on Japanese soil for the first time. After clearing customs and immigration, I was free. I was in Japan. I could have gone anywhere. But first, I went to the train station. At this point, I'd been awake and traveling for almost 22 hours and wanted nothing more than to get to the hotel and rest my tired bones. But I didn't let the fatigue get me down. The years of saving and hours of boredom had paid off. Japan was my oyster, my vacation estate for the next 2 weeks. Now, I had to get from the island that Kansai Airport is on to the mainland. These trains on tracks 1 and 2 both go to Namba Station, so don't worry about getting on the wrong one. Here are my first glimpses of Japan and Osaka. I didn't know what to make of it. It was so different than home. I just held the camera and observed. I was surprised by how many little farms I saw on the outskirts of such a big city. Do you have urban farms in your city? As we got closer to Osaka itself, the neighborhoods the train went through became noticeably more built up and dense.
We will soon be arriving at Tenga-chaya, station number MK05.
Here we are at Namba Station, a common hub station in Osaka. Our hotel, the Mitsubi Garden Premier, was further north in Nakanoshima, so we had a little ways to go yet. Fun fact, Nakanoshima means middle island because it's in the middle of the Kyoto River. Have you ever stayed in a hotel on an island? So I'm going out the north exit. Had to ask the nice man at the gate. Escalator down twice. Second escalator.
Baby?
So that's the Midosaki line, which we could take, but it would be slightly faster based on Google Maps if we take the Yotsubashi line. I think we do have to walk through one of these underground sort of shopping arcades. We don't know. It's funny, I'm able to read some of the signs and stuff. Little shoe shop. Tons of shoes. Crazy. That's one thing about Japan. The small business culture is just amazing compared to the US. The US has small businesses, but not like it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. Seems like small businesses really still are the backbone of Japan's, at least consumer culture, if not economy. It's just amazing with all these small businesses in these train stations. The transport structure in Japan is so developed that it can support an entire industry of small businesses, just catering to the needs of people using the train. Okay, so that's the Yotsubashi line. I have to buy a ticket. So, bought my ticket. The arrow indicates which way you pointed in. The backside is black, oddly enough. Oh, I was gonna say, and now we wait, but looks like I don't have to. I'm gonna turn the camera off for being in the train. Okay, Higabashi Station. That was fast. Gotta find exit number 4. That's a little walk to Nakanoshima, and then our hotel. Okay, this is basically my first time being outside in Japan, at least seeing the sky. Wow. There it is, Keitakuen Garden Hotel. If you're liking the video so far, give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. So, I finally made it to Japan. How about that? Pretty nice from where I'm sitting. So, what am I going to do tonight? Night 2, technically, because you lose a day coming over. Not a lot. I'm really tired. As I expected to be. I didn't plan anything. I'm probably just going to get some sort of dinner from a local convenience store or something like that. And call it a night. I'm going to try and be up fairly early tomorrow morning. But first, I'm going to have a shower and dinner and some rest. So here's my dinner for the night. Pork katsu and curry with rice and a chocolate-covered donut. I got it from the 7-Eleven just 50 feet down the road from my hotel. Love it about Japan. For about $5, it really wasn't bad. The curry was a little overly salty, not especially deep tasting, but it was a little spicy. Overall, it was pretty satisfying. The rice was great. I mean, you kind of expect that in Japan. And the donut, really, for $1 basically, not bad. See you tomorrow. Well, good morning, everyone. It is about 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning, May 15th, and let's go through the day's agenda. So first, we got to go up to the JR West Fukushima station, about a 15-minute walk away from the hotel, to buy an ICOCA card. So what's an ICOCA card? It's one of many sort of contactless, reloadable payment cards. ICOCA, Suica, and Cosmo. You buy the card for a small deposit, you load money on it, and then you just tap and go at the train station. Makes things a lot easier, because otherwise, you're going to have to buy a ticket anytime you want to ride the train, and you're going to have to buy it for exactly where you want to go, which can make planning, it's just annoying. I think I could have done that at the airport, but to be frank, I was so tired, I just wanted to hit the bed as soon as possible. So I'll show you guys how to do that. I'll film that process. So then we're going to go down south to the Shitennoji Temple, and then on the way to the Shinsekai, which is a popular shopping area, there's Keitakuen Garden, which is a pretty cool Japanese-style garden. Then we're going to go to Shinsekai for lunch, which is where the Tsutenkaku Tower is located, and it's south of Dotonbori, popular shopping and eating destination. So we're just gonna hang out for the rest of the day. Maybe we make our way up to Dotonbori and the Glico Man sign today, maybe we won't. We'll see, but that's the agenda for today. Breakfast, chicken mayonnaise and soy sauce onigiri. Itadakimasu. What's it? Okay guys, so we're on our way to the train station. I'm not going to get the gimbal out yet just because it's honestly troublesome. Because the dark secret of gimbals is you would think you just slap your phone on there, press a button, and it's stabilized and you're going. But it's not. You need to connect and make sure it's all connected and set the thing right and balance the phone. And so I think we'll set it up once we get to Shitennoji. Take some cool panning shots there. On the way to the station, I saw this cool looking service station. For context, ENEOS is the largest oil company in Japan, founded in Tokyo in 1888. And here's the station, JR West, Fukushima. Now let's buy an ICOCA card. So, change your language to English if you want. Use Japanese for more challenge. Purchase ICOCA. Get your money out. I think you could have put 5,000 yen. There we go. Purchased. So So there is a deposit. I guess the disclaimer is not in English, but I'll agree anyway. I don't really need a receipt. There we go. It's got a cool penguin on there. Mascot. Everything in Japan's got a mascot.
Excuse me. You might be able to help me.
You might have heard someone ask me for help. It was actually another foreign tourist. He was on his way to Nara, a popular day trip from Osaka, and it's actually only about an hour east. I didn't actually know this, so I helped him as best I could and went on my way. On the way to Shitennoji Station, I saw this cool round building. It's probably just a normal apartment building, but I think the round glass is a really cool feature. What would your life be like if you had a round living room in Japan? So we are at Shitennoji Station. We gotta go exit through the north exit and then walk about 10-15 minutes to Shitennoji. Coin lockers. It's good if you need to drop a bag for a few hours. Okay, so now we're at the north exit of Shitennoji Station. Now I've got to figure out which direction to go. On the way to Shitennoji, I came across another shrine. Here's the name in Japanese and the location in English. I have no idea what it's called, and I didn't spend more than 2 minutes here, but here you go. Shitennoji is one of Japan's oldest temples. It was founded in 593 AD by Prince Shotoku, and it played a role in the introduction of Buddhism into Japan. This is the pagoda. You can actually go inside. I took a couple photos so you can see what it looks like. You can walk around the outer grounds for free, but to get into this section, you'll have to pay a small admission fee. This other building is called the Kondo, or main hall. They had a ceremony going on while I was there. From what I could see, they were blessing pens or pencils, presumably for high school students to use in entrance exams for getting into university. Here are a few more photos that'll show you what the buildings look like. The blue-green building on the left is Abeno Harukas. We'll see more of that later in the video. Shitennoji also has a Gokuraku Jodo, Japanese garden you can stroll in if you like. And on the 21st and 22nd of each month, there's a flea market that you can go to. It's free to enter, there's festival food and souvenirs for sale. One of the things I've found striking about Japan so far is just how alive it seems. It seems kind of sterile in photos and stuff, but this juxtaposition of the modern and the old. I'm still on the grounds of Shitennoji Temple, and yet I've got construction sounds over there, new building going up, busy street there, people living, big apartment building right there. It's a quilt. It's crazy. Let's get something to drink. I think I might go for this Asahi Royal Milk Tea. for Hyakuen. You can't beat that.
Unlike vending machines, you actually can swipe your IC card and pay that way. Don't rest around in your pocket for coins like I'm currently doing. So, Hyakuen. Hyakuen coin. Should be good enough. Asahi Royal Rich Milky Tea. Milk tea. It's tea with milk. What do you want? Let's see how it tastes. Oh wow, that is really sweet. That's as sweet as full sugar bubble tea. Wow, that's sweet. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Asahi, no skipping on the sugar. Wow. The tea flavor itself is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's creamy. Not very rich though. I wouldn't call this rich milky tea. They made it with just like milk or skim milk. Doesn't taste of cream at all. Pretty good though. Okay guys, so next we're gonna go to Keitakuen Garden, about 15 minutes from here. Godzilla Energy 2. コーヒー 210mg. アルギニン 680mg. The sign says only adults are allowed to buy this. Probably because of the caffeine content. That's funny. Only 200 yen as well for 500 milliliters. That's good. I bought it. That's really cool can art. Not going to drink it right now on account of the caffeine and because I can't reclose it, and I don't really want to drink 500 milliliters, half liter, 17 ounces of anything right now. I'm just going to put it in my bag and save it for later. Put it in the hotel fridge.
As far as I know, a new Godzilla movie had recently come out, and this energy drink is a tie-in. The advertising had a few QR codes, so here you go in case you're interested. As I made more progress towards Keitakuen, I walked past this construction site. What's remarkable about a construction site, you may be thinking? The fact is that Japan is just so clean and orderly that any deviation, any dirtiness, any chaos feels out of place and novel. I was almost all the way to Keitakuen and I found yet another shrine. This one is called Horikoshi Jinja. It's amazing to me how on a large, busy main road you can have just this little tiny spot of peace and greenery in the middle of it all. It's just amazing.
And that, my friends, is Abeno Harukas. It's a brand new skyscraper with an observatory on top, and we're going to go there probably later today.
We're just a few steps away from Keitakuen at this point, and I spotted some graffiti, which looked out of place even on this somewhat disused back alley. I could read bits and pieces of this, but not all of it. Hopefully it's not massively rude. The names I can read. The top one is onigiri, or rice ball. The left-hand one is Mario, and the one on the right is mametan, or baby bean. No idea if this is some sort of pop culture reference or just an in-joke or what most of it says, but I thought it was really funny.
So here's the south entrance to Keitakuen. It's they got it a little bit temporary. That sign says temporary entrance over here. So we're gonna go in.
So here's a closer look at the entrance gate to Keitakuen. The man selling tickets at the entrance was very nice. He asked me where I was from, and it really set the tone for a nice visit to the garden.
So this is Keitakuen Garden. So it follows a circular garden concept, and it used to be owned by a feudal lord. So this is called the Hewn Stone Bridge. It's one of two in the park. It's so peaceful in here. This park is not terribly large. And you can still hear the city noise, kids playing in the park, even train noise from time to time.
But to finish that sentence, all of that noise is so much quieter in here.
This is the other stone-hewn bridge. I believe the offset is meant to confuse evil spirits, who I guess can only walk in straight lines.
I saw a couple of these birds in the garden. I'm not an expert, but I believe this is a heron.
Carp and turtles. I can't believe a fish this big can live in water this shallow. But there's tons of them.
Remember these guys from when we entered the garden? I met up with them at the waterfall. Turns out they're really nice guys. They're from France. Their names are Adol and Laith. We decided to get lunch together at Abeno Harukas. Here are a few photos I took on the walk over there. From this cool red bridge, you could actually see Tsutenkaku Tower in Shinsekai in the distance. Here's another cool bird I saw from the bridge. No idea what this one is. On our way to Abeno Harukas, we passed by Horikoshi Jinja again. Laith and Adol hadn't been there, so I took the opportunity to snap a few more photos. This is how tall Abeno Harukas is. Not the tallest building I've been in, but close to it.
This circle thing is cool. Hope you don't mind appearing in my video. So this is the food court in Abeno Harukas. 12th through 14th floor. Looks like there's a directory actually. These are my new friends. This is Adol. This is Laith. Nice to meet you guys. We met in Keitakuen actually.
We're trying to find something to eat, but
Yeah.
I think maybe the sushi.
Yeah.
This one
No, 20. Kaiten Sushi Jin.
or maybe if there is any sushi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except this one. Like for example, this one maybe.
Oh, check that one out. Check number 3 out.
Oh yeah. This.
Wonder if that's a little expensive though.
Yeah, it
We
is.
did end up going to Sushi Koke. It wasn't as expensive as I had feared. I got the 10-piece Tsukasa set. It was good, not great. Honestly, very mid, comparable to sushi I've had in the US. But for the price, a decent value. With lunch done, we went to the 16th floor to get tickets to Harukas Sanbyaku, or Harukas 300, the observation deck at the top of the tower. You board the elevator to the 60th floor from this lobby on the 16th floor, which has a secondary observation deck that you can get into for free. My pictures aren't the best, but you can actually see quite far just from here. I wasn't able to understand all of what this voiceover is saying, but from what I can understand, it seems to be a skit welcoming guests, giving facts about the building, and hyping up the view from the top.
Pretty fast. Wow. Takayo. Suge. Ooh. Oh my goodness. It doesn't come across on film how high up this is, but it's pretty high.
So that was the 360-degree view. I took a few more pictures while I was up there, including this one. The writing on the columns says, "Edge the Harukas." It looks like you would strap into the rail and walk all the way up there on top of the building, if you're crazy. And if you are, you may be out of luck because the website says it's out of service, and it likely has been since 2020. And here's another view of Tsutenkaku.
Okay guys, I said goodbye to Adol and Laith, the very nice Frenchmen I met in Keitakuen. We went up to the Abeno Harukas observatory. We did a little bit of shopping, we had a meal together, we had some sushi. And I'm actually going to Shinsekai, the kind of street food shopping district. So I basically just have to follow this street until we get there. I've really been sweating here in Japan. It's not that warm, but it's pretty muggy, so got some Pocari Sweat to replenish my sweat. Let's see how it tastes. Smells sweet. It's not carbonated. It is sweet. Tastes kind of like Gatorade. A little citrusy. Maybe a little lime. Yeah, it's refreshing. A little on the sweet side, but yeah, good.
Remember when I said I was taking pictures of graffiti, abandoned buildings, and other unexpected things in Japan? This is definitely top 3. All these buildings look fine except for this one and the few behind it. And yet someone parks their Lexus next to it. I can't help but wonder, what's the story behind it?
Shinsekai and JyanJyan Yokocho, straight ahead. Buddha statue collection gacha, 300 yen. Let's see. Buddha in various poses. What did we get? Oh, looks like I have to put them together. Might take a video of that later. To begin. It's noisy.
I took photos of this place, Swing Masa Jazz House, because I have a buddy named Masa. Masa, if you're watching this, hope you're doing well. Let's sit down for a beer soon and say, how's everything?
JyanJyan Yokocho has a theme song. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. So this is Tsutenkaku, the 100-year-old tower in the Shinsekai district of Osaka. What really doesn't come across on video is just how huge this thing is. It's only 300 or 400 feet tall, only, quite tall for the time. Abeno Harukas is, 900 feet tall, 300 meters tall. But it's in the middle of a kind of a built-up area. This just, comes up in these low-lying kind of old side streets that it's just huge in real life.
And here's a closer view of the tower. Hopefully it gives you some sort of perspective of just how tall this thing is. Abeno Harukas is taller, but Tsutenkaku is just in the middle of a neighborhood, and it's like, whoa! There's a cool design on the underside of the building. And you can go inside. There's an observation deck, like Abeno Harukas. I didn't. I'd just been in the Abeno Harukas Observatory. Although, Abeno Harukas is so tall that it's actually kind of hard to see anything on the ground in detail. So maybe give Tsutenkaku a shot if you're ever in Osaka. After seeing the centerpiece of Shinsekai, I started just walking around, vaguely north toward Dotonbori. There are a lot more streets to walk around in than the ones I went to. You could probably spend a full day here if you wanted to. Now I know that in the morning I said that we would get lunch or dinner here in Shinsekai, where there are a lot of shops where you can eat kushikatsu or skewers of batter fried food, but I'd had a late lunch and I just wasn't hungry. I did, however, eat some kushikatsu tomorrow on day 4 of the vacation, so keep your eye out for the next video. I saw this cool customized van on the way. This one is a Toyota Hiace, a common van in Japan not sold in the US. It's so popular that within Japanese car culture, there are people who trick these out, to the point where there are even dealerships that sell them tricked out, with some even costing over $40,000. I saw a few of these little spots covered in stickers and tags during my time in Japan, often on a light pole or unloved patch of wall. What is this, you may ask? It's a car storage device. I saw a few of these in Japan. This one appears to be used for motorcycles. They seem common in Japan, but you really don't see them in the US. I guess we have more space for parking lots. It's about 6:45. The sun's about to set. Sun rises really early in Japan and sets really late. Sunrise is at 4:50-ish this morning, and so it's 6:45, and we're noticeably in towards sundown. Going back to the hotel after walking around Shinsekai a little bit. Then we're gonna have some ramen at a place my friend recommended me. I thought this place was a pachinko parlor because of all the bright lighting, but it's just a regular grocery store. The little blue and white sign on the left reads sake, which indicates they sell alcohol. I'll note that in Japan, sake means alcohol in general, and within alcoholic drinks, the drink we call sake is called nihonshu, or Japanese alcohol. I thought this was a funny name for a business. Come on and get you some land. Many brand names in Japan are based on puns. I couldn't get Google Translate to work on this text, but the left seems to have condos for sale and the right are apartments for rent. Notice Japan's unique vocabulary when describing the dimensions of apartments. Floor space is given in square meters and sometimes in joule, or tatami mats, a historical unit equal to roughly 18 square feet or 1.6 square meters. Arrangement is given by a combination of numbers and the letters L, D, K, and sometimes R. For example, a 2LDK will have 2 bedrooms, a living room L, a dining room D, and a kitchen K, in addition to 1 or more bathrooms. A 1K is a studio apartment. A smaller 1-bedroom apartment may be a 1LK. Smart system, I think. And looking toward the bottom, look how cheap some of these rents get. I know that the system of costs for renting apartments is somewhat different in Japan than the US, but it seems that you really could live in Japan for a couple $100 a month, if you wanted to make some compromises. This is unheard of in the US, at least in any city I've looked for apartments in.
Platform 3, is bound for Nishimura via Otsubashi.
Okay, guys, here is dinner. It's beef and curry udon from 7-Eleven. Yeah, I got dinner from the konbini again. But man, I am so tired from walking around all day. Yeah, I just want to watch some TV and eat a meal and go right to bed.
Here's a little look at the texture.
So the curry, I think it's the same curry from the curry katsu rice I had last night for dinner. Tasted better heated up, that's for sure, but not gonna win any awards. Gently spicy, gently sweet, meaty tasting, not a whole lot of beef on the, beef udon. But overall, not too bad. I was hungry before and now I'm not, so mission accomplished. In addition to dinner at 7-Eleven, I got premium Yebisu beer. It's made by Sapporo, and I've never seen this variety. You can get a few varieties of Japanese beer in the US. Sapporo, some Suntory stuff, Kirin for sure, Orion if you're lucky. But I've never seen this one before. So let's try it. Kanpai. Smells like a sort of Pilsner or Budweiser type of thing. Okay, the hotel fridge is not super cold. Oh, that's really bitter, light but bitter, like pretty much like a Pilsner or any sort of yeah. It tastes a lot like Heineken actually. I don't terribly like Heineken, but okay, it's not too bad. Well, that's it for day 2. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks for watching days 1 through 3 of my 2-week vacation in Japan. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and comment what you liked about it. It'll give the video a boost in the algorithm so that more people can see it and plan their best vacation in Japan. If you want to see more videos like this, including my next trip to Japan, hit subscribe and day 4 is coming up real soon.